The living has nothing in common with the dead. But there's a dynamic here we must not miss. Let me illustrate. I've spent a significant portion of my life either traveling or living in tropical countries. And for a time, my wife and I lived in a house that was set on low stilts. And on one occasion, into this narrow space, a very large rat chose to crawl and die. Unfortunately, the vermin expired right under our little bedroom, actually right under our bed. And initially we thought that we would just have no other option but let that body decay into oblivion. And you can imagine what it was like, that carcass rotting in the hot, humid climate. It just sent a stupefying odor into our bedroom. It gave a whole new meaning to that word foul. I tell you, it took on depths of meaning I'd never experienced before. Well, that rat, it smelled so rank that my wife and I found it impossible to sleep, and we retreated to another portion of the house. My daughter was gone that night, and I told my wife, I'm out of here, and she said, I'm with you, and we moved into her bedroom. We just couldn't stand it. Sleeping in close proximity to that evil-smelling carcass was not natural or normal to us. We fled. Well, the next morning, my son volunteered to remedy the situation, and he located a long stick, and reaching deep into that crawl space, he began to look down in there, and he began to see where he thought the rat was, and he began to fish it towards the opening. And as it got close, all of a sudden he pulls back, and he has this just this grimace of revulsion on his face, and he says, Dad, he says, the beast is full of maggots. Oh, gag. Well, anyway, Andrew took a plastic bag. He took a plastic bag and he stuck it over his hand like this, you know, and then he reached way underneath. And grabbing the beast by the tail, he pulled it out. He pulled it out of the opening. And then taking it and holding it at a distance, he ran. He ran across down to the edge, and he got to the perimeter where the jungle was and where the fence was, and he flung it. Don't worry, it's not going to be coming. He flung it out of his presence into the jungle. Now, if that rat had been alive, had been able to sense Andrew's emotions, he would have been aware that Andrew was highly displeased with him. He would have been aware that Andrew was angry. We were too, for disrupting our sleep. And if that rat could have heard Andrew's thoughts as he was flung far into the woods, he would have heard Andrew thinking, get out of here! That's what he was thinking. You know what? If the rat could have turned around as he's being flung and said, well, just how long are you thinking you want me to be gone? Andrew would have said, forever!